we are getting a SWR of 1.069, which is a very good SWR, and the reflected power is minus 29.56 dB, which can sometimes be more lower. It's better than most of the antennas commercially available in the market for 433 or 435 megahertz. So in this video I'm going to show you how to make this kind of DIY dipole antenna for LoRa modules and UHF band ham radio for properly tuned in 435 megahertz. In this video I had shown you how to tune this antenna using NanoVNA and other stuffs, and this antenna's SWR is less than 1.08 and reflection power is less than minus 30 dB, which is far better than any commercially available antennas. So if you want to make this kind of antenna for your LoRa or ham radio purposes, please stay tuned in this video. So let's start. This is the making setup of our 435 MHz dipole antenna. As you can see, here is a TNC female panel mount connector, and these two are the two elements of our dipole antenna. These rods are made of aluminum 6mm rod. After tuning these elements properly, then we will shift our total antenna setup inside the box. As we can see here are also 4 holes to attach these elements, and this lead will go here, and I will replace this BNC female connector with this TNC connector. So at first let's talk about the NanoVNA. This is our main device for tuning an antenna. This NanoVNA let us know the resonant frequency and input impedance of this antenna, also reflected power. For tuning an antenna, what you need is just a NanoVNA. So this is our NanoVNA. I will make some details videos on this NanoVNA, how to calibrate it, how to understand it. So those video will come later. At first we have to connect this cable with the NanoVNA, and we have to calibrate the NanoVNA so that the NanoVNA ignores this cable's characteristics and properties and just help us to understand these antennas so that we can properly tune it. This is our main feed line. This side is TNC male, which will connect to the TNC female here, and this side is SMA male, which will connect with the LoRa module or with this NanoVNA. So here I had already calibrated my NanoVNA, and the frequency range is from 200 megahertz to 700 megahertz. This is the initial. For fine tuning, then we will change it from 400 megahertz to 500 megahertz. So for starting, this range is pretty good. And also I had soldered these two elements with the washer with the TNC female connector here. Now the connector is connected with the dipole element. This is our calibrated wire here, and to tune the antenna we will use this large file. At first we will connect this antenna with the NanoVNA, then slowly we will file the top and bottom part of these two elements up to when it reaches the 435 megahertz. According to the calculation what the 435 megahertz dipole antenna's size should be, I had taken a bit longer size than it, so we have to file or cut the end portion of these elements to tune it. So let's set up this antenna on its mast and tune it. It's around 8 o'clock at night, and I'm cutting the element of the dipole antenna. I had already cutted this side of the dipole, and this is the cutted part here, and this is our RE. Actually I had tuned this wire antenna before, and according to its length, now I am cutting this dipole antenna, and I kept some material left so that after cutting I can finally fine tune it using this kind of a file. So let's cut this element also and test it with NanoVNA. So this is our antenna setup on top of this antenna mast. As you can see here, this is our dipole antenna, and TNC connector is connected with the antenna, and the opposite side of this cable is connected with my NanoVNA. As you can see here, before cutting, the resonance frequency of this antenna was around 290 megahertz. Now I cutted some parts of it, and it increases up to 375 megahertz, so we have to cut it a bit more. And as you can see, the SWR of this antenna is 1.218 or 219, so it's a very good SWR, as you can see, and the reflected power is minus 20.14 dB, which is also good. So performance of this antenna will be very good but we have to finally tune it. So now let's cut some of the parts from its top and down element, and then we will check the resonance frequency again. Again, we had cutted 2.5 centimeter element from each of the elements of this dipole antenna, and now again let's check its resonance frequency. As you can see here, now its maximum resonance frequency is 420 megahertz, which actually we need 435 megahertz, just 15 megahertz more. If we move the cursor up to 435 megahertz, as you can see, we are getting a SWR of 1.288 or 291, which is also good, but just a few filing and we can also achieve the maximum resonance frequency on 435 megahertz, which will may affect in very long distance communication. So now let's file it a bit, or I hope it will become 435 megahertz the maximum resonance frequency, which is 1.180. It's really beautiful, and the log mag, it means the reflected power is minus 25.63 dBm. It's lightening a bit, so it's risky too. So let's complete it as soon as possible. Okay, so I had filed this antenna for a long time. Now let's check the result. As you can see here, our antenna on 435 megahertz, its SWR is 1.283, which is pretty much acceptable and good also, and the reflected power is minus 18.19 or 18 dB, minus 18 dB, and the proper resonance frequency of this antenna became 444 megahertz, which I don't want to make, but it happens eventually. And here the reflected power is minus 25.19 dB, which is extremely good, but also achieving this much accuracy on our intended frequency is even more harder. So if we take the 435 megahertz with SWR of 1.28 and reflected power of minus 18 dB, it's a pretty good antenna, and it should transmit in a very good way comparing with other ready-made rubber ducky antennas which are available in the market. They are just seats. I will also show you those antennas performance on this NanoVNA. So tomorrow I will remove this element from this temporary setup, and I will put these elements on a proper box with connector, and we will fix our antenna on this antenna mast. So stay tuned. It's around 1 o'clock at night, 1 AM, and I'm still working on my rooftop, and it's suspicious, so let's stop it here. Okay, so this antenna is fully tuned for 435 megahertz. Now we have to replace these elements and this connector on this permanent antenna box. We will remove this BNC female connector and attach this TNC female connector and these elements on this box, and then we will test its result for a final time. To mount these rods, I am using these washers and nuts. These all are 3 millimeter nuts and bolts. So let's make it in this box. So here I had replaced my elements on this permanent box. Now I have to connect this adapter on the box here. So I had prepared this connecting cable for this antenna. This is made out of RG58 coaxial cable. Here I had soldered the connector with the elements. As you can see, this outer jacket of the cable is connected with the outer part of the connector with these screws. The center conductor is connected with the middle pin of the connector, and this side this antenna will stay like this. So this is the upper element of the dipole. This will be a vertically polarized dipole to cover 360-degree omnidirectional outer wide. So the center conductor of the RG58 is connected with the upper portion, and the lower portion is ground connected with the jacket of the RG58. Also I was testing the continuity of these elements, so that if by any chance they were shorted or not. So I had connected this lead with the center conductor, and if I touch it, you can listen it, it's connected. And if I touch it here, there is no sound, it means there is no short. Now connect the another lead with the outer cell, and the lower element is sorted with the outer core, but the upper element is not. So our antenna is perfectly fine. Now this part is completely ready. We'll close it and test it now. So here is our antenna ready for final testing. As you can see, it's around 2 to 3 meters high from this rooftop, and it's a 3-storied building, so it's a pretty good height, good for LoRa type of modules which actually need line of sight communication. And this is the lead of this antenna, and I will attach this lead again with my NanoVNA, and then I will show you the performance of this antenna finally. So our antenna is connected with our NanoVNA, and as you can see, we are getting a SWR of 1.069, which is a very good SWR, and the reflected power is minus 29.56 dB, which can sometimes be more lower, and the resonant frequency is on 435 MHz. Also there are some other peaks also, but the 435 MHz, this antenna is acting pretty good. So the SWR of 1.075 and reflected power of minus 29 dB, it's better than most of the antennas commercially available in the market for 433 or 435 megahertz. So for 435 megahertz, you can see the report. For 433 megahertz or 430 megahertz, it is more or less the same. It's minus 20.7 dBm and 1.02, which is also very good. Here I had attached this T connector with our antenna's mid box. As you can see, it is connected with 2 3mm screws from inside of the antenna casing. Here are 2 screws. Now we can easily mount this antenna on our antenna mast, which is also made of using this kind of PC pipe. So now it will be very easy to mount on our antenna mast in this way. Now we have to make this whole thing waterproof, so that's why I am using this glue gun. We have to put glues on these gaps. As you can see here, here is some gap, here are also some gaps. Also we'll put glue on top of these nuts, so that no any kind of rainwater can get inside this antenna. Otherwise rainwater affect heavily antennas in SWR and resonating frequency. So now let's put glue on it, then tomorrow morning we will permanently attach this antenna on our rooftop. Here I had already applied glue on these gaps, as you can see, on top of nuts or on the junction of the dipole elements. So here our antenna making completed, and this antenna is fully ready to deploy in outdoor in sun and rain, and it should work perfectly fine. Tomorrow I will put this antenna on my rooftop on the antenna mast. Then again we will test it SWR and other characteristic for a last time. Then I will use this antenna to transmit LoRa signals. In another video, I will test range of 433 MHz LoRa modules like SX1278 or eByte E32 using this antenna and my quadcopter to increase the height of my receiver LoRa, so that they can communicate in line of sight, because line of sight is the main condition applied for LoRa modules. So in future those videos are also coming. If you are interested, stay tuned to subscribe. Most of you guys don't have a NanoVNA, because NanoVNA is a very specialized tool. It is not a screwdriver that everybody should own one of it. So for you, I'm giving the dimension of my dipole antenna. So total length of this dipole antenna is 34 centimeter, and each element of the dipole antenna is 16.9 centimeter for me. Person to person, depending on the condition, environment and material, this length should vary, but you can take this measurement and it will make a more or less perfect antenna for all cases. And also my antenna was made out of 6mm diameter solid core aluminum rod, and you can also use thick wire 2mm electrical wire to make this antenna. So see the dimensions carefully. Total length of the dipole from end to end is 34 centimeter. Each elements are 16.9 centimeter long, and there is a 2mm gap between these two elements. This gap is very important. Upper element of this antenna is directly connected with the central conductor of the RJ58 cable, and other element is connected with the jacket or ground of the cable. So this is the whole dimension. Please take a screenshot of it. I hope it is clear to you. If you have any kind of doubt or anything, let me know in the comment section or directly message me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is on the description box. So as you can see, here our antenna is completely ready to deploy. Now we have to put this antenna on our antenna mast. So let's set up it there and check how it actually works. This is our antenna connecting cable, which I will connect with this antenna like this. This is TNC male connector. So here our antenna is fully ready to deploy. This is our SX1278 LoRa module, which have a SMA female connector, and other side of the antenna connector here is a SMA male connector. So we will simply put this SMA connector together. So in this way, this DIY antenna will transmit LoRa signals far better than any other commercially available antennas. This is our LoRa receiver, and I am going to attach a normal rubber ducky antenna on this antenna port, and I will fly this whole LoRa receiver using this quadcopter from far away, so that this LoRa module's antenna and this antenna comes in a line of sight, which is a must have condition for LoRa long range communications. So for this video, stay tuned. Hi, I am AkashWave, call sign Victor Uniform number 3 Hotel Alpha X-ray. I am an electronics and communication engineer and a licensed ham radio operator also. Now I am pursuing my MTech on microwave radiation, and I used to make videos on microcontrollers, microprocessors, sensors, servo, ham radio and this kind of stuff, also antenna, as you can see. So if you are interested on this topic, please do subscribe my channel. If you like this video, please like, and if you have any questions, queries, suggestion or anything regarding this video, please let me know in the comment section, or you can directly message me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is on the description box, so please check out it. So that's it for today. See you on another video.